Clay Purview. Watch Speedway live or on demand. And SRV Road Freight Services. Excellence in motion. Bring you Speedway Nation with Jared Ash and Ryan Harris. Right across the SEN network.
Have a look at Sedans. They've been busy in January. Brad Pascoe's won everything in Tasmania. Holy smokes, he's been on a charge. King's Royal event was wonderful. We'll talk to new King's Royal champion, Dylan Barrow, the young charger from Victoria, in just a moment's time. But Queensland Production Sedan title this weekend, Ryan Harris. That's exciting, over 50 nominations. But to build off that, can we finally put to bed that when we went from carby cars to injected, I can't believe we're saying this, when we went from carby cars to injected, that it didn't kill the category? Can we put that to bed?
I think so. I think production sedans have never been stronger, and it's probably the most strongest sedan class in the country right now and on the biggest up trajectory of anything. It is a phenomenal class right now, and it's ticking a lot of boxes. Yes, it's a very solid support class. It's not going to generate thousands and thousands of people to come through the turnstiles to watch it, but there's a big proportion of us that love it. This weekend is the 13th running of the Queensland Production Sedan title, brought to you by Cush Clothing, which is fantastic. 59 nominations, first time ever held in Toowoomba. Toowoomba will host the national title the following April in 2025. So not surprising that there's a heap of New South Wales cars and a lot from Victoria that are coming up to have a little play early on, and it will be hotly contested. Joel Berkeley, defending Queensland champion, has been unbelievable in a production sedan. He's good in everything. Modified sedan, yep, up and down at times. Production sedan, unbelievable. Disappointed that Brad Shearer won't be around to go around after his monumental wreck at Kingaroy. That was a phenomenal crash.
Yeah.
And people, if you want to check it out on the Clay Purview social page. It was a phenomenal crash, and it's a shame that Brad won't be there. But Jordan Bavano's there, the Victorian champ Matt Nelson's there. Chris Pagel, former winner, Dan Hanshaw. There's a really, really solid field, and that will be a hotly contested event at Toowoomba.
And it's not just massive numbers in Queensland. For the last decade, there's been 50, 60, 70 of these things roll up to state championships in WA. The numbers in Queensland are off the Richter scale. New South Wales, since adopting production sedans in the changeover from some of those state-based classes to go and race the national division, it's been fantastic. Like, let's be honest, there's cool. They don't exist in Tasmania and Northern Territory. That's what street stocks do. Correct. But the production sedans fill that gap beautifully between street stocks and modified sedans. So production sedan's a real race car that you can still run on a decent budget. A modified sedan these days, you're talking $60,000, $70,000 to build a proper one.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, production sedan, there's guys out there still rolling around in second-hand cars, and they'll buy a car from someone and go and have some fun, and they put a set of $300 a tyre on it and that'll last them 5 or 6 race meetings, and it's still an affordable class that average Joe can jump in and go racing in. You can't do that in a modified sedan anymore. They are the premier monobody class. Let's not get too technical for everyone tuned in and listening at the moment on Speedway Nation, but it's a great bridging gap from a street stock, which is designed to be uncomfortable to drive, to a production sedan where, hey, they're still a real race car.
It's a race car. On radials, and my only advice to anyone that cares let's keep it on radials, because it's a good
leveler.
It is a very good leveler in a good way to keep the costs at some kind of normality, if you will. But yeah, production sedans, gangbusters, going very good. Very, very good. Good class.
Fingers crossed. We'll only touch on this very briefly, Ryan. There was obviously a little bit of controversy on social media a couple of weeks ago about some leaked emails or leaked talking points, notes about where the future of the Speedway Sedans Australia classes may look. And I 100% agree. We need to look towards the future, because Holdens and Fords aren't made in Australia anymore. We need to look towards the future, but let's just be sensible about this and have a decent discussion. There was some wild things thrown out there, and it's okay to talk about those, but we need to be sensible about where we look at it.
Yeah, that's right. And I feel that the people, the overwhelming response from people was, I think there's a general consensus that, yes, we need to look at the future of what sedan racing in this country looks like. And while we talk about this, SSA sedan drivers are the most what's it, 60% of all the licence holders in the country. So we are talking about a phenomenal group of people that make a massive contribution to the licensing component and income and everything that makes the world go around. I think the general overwhelming response from everyone was they just want some say and some kind of control and direction where the future goes. So, what that looks like for modified sedans, production sedans, street stocks, and even juniors and super sedans, well, who knows? But they just want no rash decisions that take effect 1 July 2024.
Yep.
Let's have a bit of a holding period, a good discussion. I believe there has been some greater roundtable discussion since then, and some competitor groups have been talking to people from the SSA, and they're taking away all kind of things. So there's some nice movement and a little bit of harmonious vibe going on, which is good. Where that ends up, who knows? But whatever. Hey.
Well, we're interested spectators on the other side of the fence, basically. There probably has to be a little bit of, you can't just have the car owners drive the decision, because they'll go, well, let's just use what we have now. And it doesn't bring any incentive to progress the rule set forwards, because they've got to spend money. So it's a balancing act between the two, which is probably where we're looking at with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to see where that's going to progress from here.
Can I say, unpopular opinion, it is a good opportunity while we're having futuristic talks about car of the future to, class rationalisation if that goes further. So we've got late model super sedans, AMCAs, mod sedans, where I'm going with this.
VA-Day modifieds.
So if we take a holistic view of the sport where we're at, is there an opportunity to merge some together to, before we make too many rash decisions?
Yep.
Let's be sensible and try to cull what we've got. So we've got a better overall product to take to the fans, right?
And that's before you even look at any state-based classes that only race at 3, 4, 5 venues around the country. So those are just national classes that you mentioned. So probably something that does need to get brought to the round table.
This is SEN's Speedway Nation for Clay Per View. Watch Speedway live or on demand. And SRV Road Freight Services. Excellence in motion.